Greetings everybody out there watching the Moz Collector channel. This is Moz coming to you with another YouTube video. This video is going to go over some of my action figures, and I thought also just to make sure I keep pops in it because I feel like I need to. We're going to go over all the chases that I have acquired, and I'll tell you, if we have time, the stories behind it. So, one of the first things that got me collecting these Funko Pops, aside from the occasional Walgreens exclusive Spider-Man figure, is Stranger Things. I loved the show. I saw it pretty early on, and when I saw the Pops, I knew I had to have them all. The chases were a little tricky for me, because I didn't know how to pop hunt at the time. I'm actually a relatively new pop collector. I would say maybe we're encroaching upon a year of collecting, and even then, once Stranger Things hit, I didn't jump full in. I bought Stranger Things and just kind of left it alone. So, without further ado, let's get into some of my chases here. This one is one that I was just kind of on the fence about. I didn't want to pay a lot for it. I didn't find it in the wild, but I did trade something that to me wasn't worth a lot, but to somebody else was really interested in. So I got me a Tiffany chase. I think I traded, if I'm not mistaken, it's been 6 months now, and I traded a lot that day, but I think I traded, it was right around the time, I wish I'd get to it right, it was right around the time that the Joyce Biohazard suit figure was hitting targets. So I think I traded an extra of her for this figure, because I got one, and that was all I needed, and I needed stock to bring with me to this Pop Swap. I'd never been, but I heard Pop Swap, and I figured I should have stuff to swap. So I brought her, and people wanted her. I know I got something for her. It was probably this, if not, I know what I gave for this, I really didn't give a crap about. I didn't. And I don't think it was a chase, because I would at least had a little bit of remorse, just a chase for a chase, because this chase to me is a $20 figure at best. It's not the higher end $30, $40 chases. But anyway, I got that one at the Pop Swap. The next one that I got was 11 with Egos. Now, of course, actually when I said the next one I got this one first. This is one of the first chases I got. You know what? I'm actually wrong. This is the second chase I ever found. I'll go backwards in a bit. This one here, I ordered on Amazon. My wife likes to give me gift cards every couple weeks because she feels guilty that she buys herself stuff. Who am I going to complain? So I used that gift card and I bought an 11 with Egos because I didn't have her. I really wanted the wig. And so I got that one on Amazon. But little did I know, 2 weeks later, I'd find another one in Target. I traded that at the Pop Swap for something. I don't remember. But the first pop chase that I found on my own in the wild was a Demogorgon, which was awesome. I found him at Barnes & Noble, and it was actually interesting because, again, I was new to this whole thing, and I went into Barnes & Noble and I asked, I didn't see this particular figure. They had the common there, and I already bought the common, and I didn't know how the chases worked at all. So I asked the people at the information desk, I was like, can you get these things in? Because back then, they would special order for you in the store without you having to pay a dime. Which, it seems like it's forever ago, but no, apparently it wasn't that long ago. It was just last year, at least at my store. And when they went pulling up the figures that I was looking for, they pulled up the Demogorgon, and the Demogorgon picture that they displayed in their system was the chase. And I was like, fuck it. Pardon my French. I was like, order that. I'm not into it at all. I could even decide not to pick it up. Order that, and we'll see if I get it. And sure enough, when it came in, they got in the chase. I was like, if it's all this easy. But 11 didn't have a chase picture or any of that. And shortly thereafter, you're not able to special order from Barnes & Noble anymore. They tell you to order from the website, which is annoying. And the only way they do any kind of special order, anything close to that, is that they'd hold stuff that's coming in already. They won't order anything anymore. The next chase I found in the wild was Hopper. Again at Barnes & Noble. But this one I didn't have to special order. He was just there. In fact, when I went there, they had two of them. And I bought them both. And guess where the other one went? The Pop Swap. That's right. So, swapped him out for something else. It was pretty cool. In fact, now I'm looking at my other chases. I didn't swap any of my chases for other chases. That's crazy. So, we got Hopper. And then let's see. In the order of appearance, we got these two on the same day. This is right around October 2017 when the Halloween stuff was hitting Target. They had these in their horror assortment, both of them. Now, I'd already bought both of these. This one from Amazon, so I have two. If you look behind me, there's a second one over there. And the other one I'd paid $130 for at my local pop shop because of the whole, it's gone, you're not going to find it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? You only live once. Buy it. You know, I had buyer's remorse, of course, especially a week later when I find this bugger in Target. So I'm holding on to the other one. And you know what's really cool about the other one? Is that what I'm going to end up doing, just because I'm an OCD, need completing in my life, you know, things, and I'm not going to spend another $60 for another Pennywise, I'm going to get a chase sticker and slap one on a blue box and throw that bastard in there. Now my OCD eye color crap will be complete. If you haven't noticed, I got a problem. So then a week or so later, I've been waiting a long time for Grady Twins. I knew that they're coming out, like, even actually before Jack Torrance, I knew about the Grady Twins. Before Pennywise, I knew about the Grady Twins. And I've been wondering about them, and I've been waiting on them. And so I go to my Target, not the same one that I got these chases from, but I watched Brick Seat, and I talked to Target associates. They said that they're expecting them this, give me a ballpark date of when they are expecting, when the truck's expected to come in. And I had a friend of mine that worked at Target, and they gave me a little, they didn't really hold anything. They didn't help me in that way. They just told me when the truck was coming. They said, truck will be here this day. And that wasn't even for the store I went to. They were able to say that this store, the truck's coming, this store's the truck coming. Anything any associate that was good on customer service would have told you had you asked. So they didn't really go and do anything inappropriate. They just were forthcoming with information because I happen to know them. So I knew that they were going to drop this day. And I go and camp out. I couldn't sleep. I have this problem with sleeping. If I know I have to be up early in the morning, I can't sleep. I don't know why. I could have to be up early in the morning to do the worst imaginable thing that I just really don't care about, any of that stuff. It doesn't have to be something I'm excited to do. I just can't sleep. It's some mental insomnia thing. I don't know. So I got up at 3:30. I was sitting out there in front of Target. I'm in Georgia. This is one of the coldest nights so far. This was in October. And it was freezing. It wasn't quite freezing. It was like just above freezing. And I'm in there. I'm outside. I got a lawn chair. I got a 1950s Korean era U.S. military trench coat with wool liner on. I have thermals on. I have a beanie on. I have gloves on. I am ready to camp out there and freeze my butt off. I did not have her bring anything to urinate in. That was fun. We worked that out. We don't need to get into that story. And so I'm sitting out there, and I've been out there for about a half an hour. Local PD pull up, wondering why I'm sitting there. Like they've never seen anybody camp out for a store to open. I'm sure at some point, even though we're in the digital age, people have done that. If you're a PD, you've probably seen it. Either way, they violated my rights. They asked to frisk me and interrogate me, basically. And instead of being on one of those videos where people get arrested for asking why, I was like, the hell with it. I have nothing on me but a pocket knife. And I'd let them know about that. And I was like, I'm just waiting for the store to open for a bloody toy. And finally, they let me go, but that was embarrassing enough. But I did walk away with the Grady Twins chase. A 1 in 36 chance chase. And my store, getting a case of 3, got 1. I kind of wish the sticker was not over here, though. But whatever. There was more to that story. Not with the cops, but this video is getting long enough as it is. And I got stuff I'm adding to it later. So the next chase I found was Elvira. Hot Topic exclusive, glow-in-the-dark Elvira. She was just a product of happenstance, really. I was considering buying Elvira because I love the horror collection of stuff. This is what I've branched out to since Stranger Things and Shining and other Stephen King stuff. And she was definitely on my consider list, but I've kind of come into the mentality if I don't find the chase for a set, unless I really like the set, I won't invest any further in it. And not that she's much of a set, but I was sitting there, I was holding the common, and Hot Topic got their delivery of Pops. I was like, And this is before they got all crazy about we won't open this and do all this social media and all that stuff. This was like right before that dropped. And I was, I'd gotten to know the associate because that's what you do if you want, scratching the backs. And he was cool, and we went ahead and opened up the cases right there, and sure enough, pa-chow. And I even pulled a nice brand new Elvira common. I bought one of each. I'm not a savage. And got them both that day. On that same day I picked up, oh hell, I don't remember. Then about a week later, I'm in that same mall, and I end up in this little store called Pika Pika in Sugarloaf Mills. And it's a little, they got Pops, and they got a lot of, Robotech type models and stuff, the kind of Asian assortment of toys, etc. And on the shelf, right there in the front, pa-chow, Freddy Krueger chase. I about jumped over somebody when I saw this. I was like, move! Because he was kind of standing in the way. I just jumped over him basically and pew, mine. I wish I'd gotten that on video. That would have been fun to watch. So then, just this last week, you probably saw this video already. We picked up Yzma at Hot Topic. This was pretty cool. I actually kind of fudged it a little bit in the video. I made it look like I just found her on the shelf, and of course I faded to black, because that's not how I found her. I just wanted that kind of pull look. Actually, how I found her is they had 3 on the shelf. They had just put them out, and they had like 5 other cases in the back nobody even opened. And of course, since there was no chase on the shelf, the girl at this Hot Topic was nice enough to go get the other cases, and we went and opened them. This was the only chase in the 5 other cases they had. Cases of 3, by the way, and that entire assortment. Then later that day, I went to my buddy's shop, Stuck in Time, and I finally had gotten my Xander chase. I paid, flipped prices for him, but that's fine. I'm done with it. I pre-ordered these, about a year ago now, and received them, of course. And I had to get the Build-A-Figure for this. I don't go in for all of them. But I pre-ordered the entire case of the X-Men Legends because New Mutants is one of my favorite books that came out. Let's set this down on the floor. So in this set, we have one duplicate figure out of the whole case. He doesn't come with an actual piece to build. So he comes with 2 Logans. The next figure that I have in the set is Cyclops, and as you can see, I took out the piece for the Build-A-Figure. The nice thing about these particular Marvel Legend boxes is you can remove the Build-A-Figure piece and still keep the actual figures in the box. And it still looks really good. And when I'm done, if I want to, if I need to come back to it, I can always put the Build-A-Figure piece back in the box. And I left a piece of my figure in there because it's an optional hand piece that I just didn't want to use. The next figure in the set is Polaris, and she came with, looks to be a leg. And then we have Shatterstar. I don't know why he's in the X-Men line, because he was actually X-Force. Then again, in the 90s, I stopped reading X-Men a lot, because I just got sick of foil variant, just like today. A lot of the different variants coming out. It's just, in fact, I'm not buying X-Men right now. Now, another old school X-Men figure, or X-Men character in his X-Men outfit, Sunfire. Check that out. This is all the X-Men line that has the Build-A-Figure. Like I said, the only figure that I pulled out so far that didn't have any pieces was Old Man Logan. And then we got one last figure. We got one last figure, and that is Dazzler. Hell yeah! In her 70s disco outfit, Dazzler was definitely a character that I wanted to get. She's not my favorite X-Men, but this is just a cool character design. And then I'll show you what we built. Warlock is a badass. I have one other Build-A-Figure. I don't have the individual figures still in the plastic that they came in because they came in blister packs, which was a lot more difficult than, say, this was. But I wasn't playing because I wasn't going to not build a Sentinel. It's my Build-A-Figure for Sentinel. He's huge. We're going to put him next to Warlock here, just to give you an idea of how this has changed since then. They're both standing flat, although Warlock wants to fall forward. So that's the difference in the Build-A-Figures from then and now. I mean, he's just so huge. And this guy's got some weight to it. My God. I love this figure. He does have a piece that's missing. It's not lost. It's just not here with him. It's like a tentacle that comes off of his hand. Like, I guess it's coming from his hand. I'm not too certain what the point was. It looks ridiculous. So, in the display case I keep this guy in, he just doesn't have a tentacle, but it's supposed to attach to this hand here. And the way I like to make him stand is like he's zapping Wolverine from like the cover of X-Men number 142. Uncanny X-Men number 142, I should say. Difference in books. The Transformers Armada Unicron action figure. He does transform into a planet, but it's only about half the planet, so he really looks a lot better as the robot Unicron. Orson Welles' final performance.
For a time, I considered sparing your wretched little planet Cybertron. But now, we shall witness its dismemberment.
In fact, I hadn't bought any Transformers figures in forever. This was a Marvel Legends line. I have all the Hulks from this line. This is King Hulk from the Planet Hulk storyline, and he's a Build-A-Figure of Fin Fang Foom. My other Hulk figure, now this is the one that really puts, in my opinion, puts the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure of Thor's Ragnarok Hulk to shame. In fact, it puts all the action figures of this particular storyline to shame. This is so iconically accurate to the comic book. My wife found this for me for Christmas this year. This is the Planet Hulk Marvel Select Disney Store exclusive. Now, the really cool thing, and what would be awesome, well, one thing at a time. The really cool thing is that he's got his control chip on that they implanted on him on Sakaar. It's just, man, he's a badass figure. And look at that awesome axe. The detail on these Marvel Select figures is where it's at. And really, at the price nowadays for a Marvel Legends figure, which is $19.99, these are $24.99. $5 more, and look how more superior this is. I wish I had a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Hulk to show you the difference, but just look how much more superior that is. This is a good artwork representation of what he looks like on the back. I mean, it's just phenomenal. It's awesome. I would suggest you check out your local Disney store and try to find this if you're interested in any of the Hulk action figures. Now, changing pace here from Hulk, we're going to jump back. We're going to jump way back to when I was a little kid. And these are the figures that I played with. Not these ones specifically, but, well, the exact same figures, but not the ones that I have here. Does that make sense? Stay with me. And I also brought out a book to reference this. In 1984 or so, G.I. Joe was wearing off for me. Transformers, they had their place. I loved them. But you couldn't really bring Transformers around with you when your mother took you shopping. You wanted to bring something around with you that didn't have a lot of pieces. And something that would fit in your pocket. So, and I wish I had a better copy of this. Maybe one day I will. This is the original Secret Wars Amazing Spider-Man figure, still in the card. Now, what's sad is the sticker didn't come off. I didn't try to take it off. I bought it like this. In fact, if Bearded Pop Hunter is watching, the store we were talking about the other night on your live stream off of Bonnie Road in Virginia Beach is where I got this guy at. That's Amazing Spider-Man. So I had him, right? I had him. And I had this. I had this book. This is the first appearance, the actual book, the first appearance of the Hobgoblin, Amazing Spider-Man 238. I don't read a lot of Spider-Man anymore. I used to, but not anymore. And I had to reacquire this book because the Hobgoblin has always been probably my favorite of the goblins. In fact, he is my favorite of the goblins. And as a kid, I recalled desperately hunting for his figure in the Secret Wars line in the stores. Well, I went back up to Tidewater a couple years ago to visit my family, and I walked into this place called Comic Kings, which I also shout out to you on your show, Bearded, and they had this in there with the case, which is nice. 1980s Secret Wars original Hobgoblin action figure, still in the card, and look at that, no punch for the hanger. He was never hung up. His punch is still very well in place. Now, Comic Kings had $100 on this guy. That's not what I paid. I know when I saw this there, my budget was tight, and I've known Joey for years. I used to shop with him when I was a teenager, when he had his baseball card shop. Not that I bought a lot of them, but I brought my brother up there a lot. And in the 90s, he switched to comic books, and I went in there a few times too. But I was joking with him. I was like, man, I would love to get that Hobgoblin off you, but I can't do $100, man. I was like, how about 50? I cut his price in half. I was like, how about 50? And he actually sat there and thought about it, and I was like, oh crap, I'm in trouble, because I really don't have $50 to spend on this. I really don't. I'm out of town. My budget's like almost gone. But either way, he came back and he's like, I'd do it for 60. And I was like, damn, that is pretty good. I was like, he tried to meet me on that price. I mean, he came really close. And 60 he wasn't losing anything. I think he probably had a price a little higher than what I'd found it for later online. But then again, this one was not punched, and this one came with this nice, I need to buy more of these, this nice case for it. So I went ahead and dropped it. I was like, you know what? You only live once. Buy it. But anyway, that's my story with that figure. And of course, in the comic book room, which again, I'm putting it off if you haven't noticed. I'm in here making a video instead. In the comic book room, I have to either side of this book on the wall, and I need to get this graded, but that's more money. I have them either side on the wall, like this. You'll see it when I do shoot the comic book room. I will show it to you, but I might pan over it pretty quick. But you got your Amazing Spider-Man in the red suit, and you got your Hobgoblin framing in the first appearance of the Hobgoblin, which is by far my favorite Spider-Man goblin. Maybe one day I'll explain to you why I stopped reading Spider-Man. I think it had something to do with, and I'm being sarcastic here, one more day. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Please hit subscribe if you want to see what other videos I got coming up. And follow me on Instagram. I'll have the information down here at the bottom. Thank you again for watching. Instead of cleaning the room now, I'm going to go cut this video. Have fun.